Yes, the voice is able to listen.
Fine. Yes. So, so in the yesterday's session, right, I was just discussing Python Software Foundation, right? PSF. It's a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year 2001 to foster the development of Python, right? PSF received Computer World Horizon Award. President Guido van Rossum, headquarters Delaware, USA, and python.org. Python versions, right? Python versions, 1.x, 2.x, and 3.x. The version that we are using currently, 3.x version, right? 3.x version. Previous versions, 1.x released in the year 1990, 2.x in 2000, 3.x in 2000. Latest version that what we are using, Python 3.10, right? Stable versions of Python 3.7, mostly used version, right? Python installation. Python installation. So apt-get install Python 3.10, right? apt-get install Python 3.10. This what for Linux installation, and yesterday I was just intimating you about that. Yesterday I was just showing you how to install within this Windows environment, right? How to download and how to install within this Windows environment. Yes, or by in Linux, by default, you see Python as an inbuilt, right? No need of any separate installation. Python execution modes. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter, and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Interactive mode, right? Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter, and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Batch mode means we write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py and submit to Python. Like we have got, we can write that Python code within the Notepad, Edit Plus, VA, and Nano editor, and some IDs like PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter, Atom, and VS Code. Okay. Developing the application within editor, right? You can write a Python code within an editor, right? Save it as some sample 1.py, and just type Python in the command prompt and give the path of the file. So, okay, right? You'll get the output, right? And also I was showing you how to open ideally, and we can write the code and execute the code at the same place. So just to go to the start programs, check where your Python is available, right? Python 3.10, ideally you can say. The first thing what we see, Python shell gets opened, file, new file, You can write the code here itself and you can run the code here itself, right? Okay. We can write the code here, we can run the code here itself, right? Yes. Today just I'm going with the topic data types, right? Later I discuss how to download and how to install IDs, how to work with these IDs, right? Yes. Okay. Python data types. Python data types, right? Yes. Okay. Every organization use case, right? Every organization use case, right? Has got data and operations, has got data and operations. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types are variables. Data represented using data type and operations represented using functions. Data represented using data types of variables, operations represented using functions. Every organization use case has got data and operations, data represented using data types or variables, operations represented using functions. Every organization use case has got data and operations, data by using data types, operations using, just observe this, right? Okay. Take the example, any organization. I'm taking the example of a bank. A bank consists of what? Customers and employees. Customers and employees. customers has got a data and operations. Customers has got what? Data, operations. Data, okay, data like a customer name, account number, balance, okay, this is what? Data. Data represented using data types are variables. Data types are variables, right? Yes. Okay. Operations, like operations means deposit operation, withdraw operation, deposit, withdraw, transfer, all this, right? Operations represented using functions. Functions, we'll discuss it later, right? But our concept is data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations using functions. Operations, right? Yes. Similarly, for employees also, we have got a data and operations, right? Employees has got what? Data and operations. Okay. Employees data like employee ID, employee name, designation, right? Yes. Manager. So here data represented using data types or variables. Operations means what operations? Employee operations, right? Calculating tax, calculating net salary. Yes, all these are operations represented using functions. Now, as of now, our discussion is on data types or variables. Data types are variables, right? If you compare this variables as compared with other programming, like C or C++ or Java, comparison with Python, right? Yes. C, C++, Java, yes. Python. X equal to, see here, in other programming languages, right? If I want to define a variable X as 10, compulsory this data type is mandatory, right? Compulsory this data type, int X is 10, Y equal to 4.5, float Y equal to 4.5, Z equal to hello. Index as 10, float Y as 4.5, string Z as hello, right? Yes. Data type defining is mandatory, but in Python, no need to define this data types, right? Directly I can say X as 10. Directly I can say Y as 4.5. Directly we can say Z as hello, right? Yes. We don't need to define the data types, right? Directly we can say X as 10, Y as 4.5, Z as hello, right? Yes. So here okay, what kind of variable X is here? What kind of variable X is means integer, right? What kind of variable Y is float? What kind of variable Z is? What kind of variable X is means integer? What kind of variable Y is? What kind of variable Z is? It's string type. So based upon so here, based upon the data type defining, you are saying it is integer type. Based on the data type defining, you are saying it as float. Based on the data type defining, you are saying it as string type, right? But here, based upon what value you are assigning, if you're assigning a integer value, yeah. If you're assigning a float value, then float variable created. If you're assigning a string value, right, string variable is going to get created, right? Okay. Okay. What value you are assigning, if you are, so here type of X, there is a function in Python, type of X. Type of X is what type? Integer. Why it is integer? Because you are assigning a integer value. Type of Y, type of Y is what? Float. Type of Y is what? Float. Why it is float? Because you are assigning a float value. Type of Z, type of Z is what type? Type of Z is what type? String type. Type of X is integer. Type of Y is float. Type of Z is what? String. If you're assigning a integer value, int. If you're assigning a float value, if you're assigning a string value, string. So now I'm going to discuss 4 cases, right? I'm going to discuss 4 cases. Understand this 4. I'll just show you practically all these 4 cases later. Case 1. If you are defining a variable in Python, what happens internally? Defining a variable, right? Defining a variable. X equal to 10. I'm saying like X has 10, right? What happens internally whenever you define a variable? A object is going to get created. A object is going to get created with value 10. X equal to 10 means an object is going to get created with value 10 with some address. The address is given to X. Observe here, X equal to 10 means internally one object gets created with value 10 with some address. The address is given to X. What X is storing? What X is storing means X stores the value 10. See here, X equal to 10, an object gets created with value 10. It is going to occupy some memory address. That address is given to X. What X is storing means, don't say like X is storing 10. X stores this address. Here 3 things you need to understand. Here 3 things what you need to like print X. Print X, right? Yes. Prints the content. Prints the content at that address. Prints the content at that address. ID, there is a function called ID function, right? ID prints the address of X. Print X means prints the content at that address. Means whenever you say print X, it goes to that address and prints the content at that address, right? Address of X. Address of X means, right, type of X. Prints the content at that address, prints the address of X, prints the data type of X. Data type of X is what type? Int type. Prints the content at the address, prints the address of X and type of X, data type of X. So if you say type function, right, to prints to say what data type it is, integer. ID function to print the address where exactly it is stored, right? And the print X prints the content of X. 3 things you need to understand, right? This is case 1. Case 2, yes. Now X value is 10, Y value is 20. Yes. Try to answer how many objects are going to get created here. How many objects? I want the sessions to be interactive from here on. Right. How many objects are going to get created here?
2 object.
Two objects.
Two objects, right? One object with value 10, another object with value 20. So they are going to occupy some physical memory location addresses. Those addresses is given to X. This address is given to Y. Try to answer. Print X. What is the X value? Print X.
10.
10, right? Yes. Everyone try to answer. Print ID of X. Address. Where exactly it is stored?
10307.
103070, right? Type of X. Data type of X.
Integer.
Integer, because you have assigned a integer value to X. Integer value, right? Yes, int. Print Y. 20. ID of Y.
1440.
Integer.
Type of Y is what type?
Integer.
Int.
Print X, ID of X, type of X. Print Y, ID of Y, type of Y. Two different variables X and Y with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses, right? Two different variables with two different values, then two different objects with two different addresses, right? Yes. Now observe this case 3 and try to answer. Case 3. X has 10, Y has 10. Everyone try to answer here. How many objects are going to get created here?
2.
2.
Try to observe this carefully. Here only one object is going to get created. Here only one object is going to get created, right? Yes.
Because we write in a single line.
Observe here, not like X equal to 10, right? First observe here, X equal to 10, 10, 103070. So understood, right? X equal to 10, one object is going to get created with some value 10 with some address. Okay, that's fine. Before creating object for Y, first it checks any object with value 10 is already available in the memory. If available, the same address will be given to Y. If not available, then a new object gets created. In the previous example, X value was 10, Y value was 20. So two objects with two addresses got created, right? But here, if X is 10, Y is 10, if Z also 10, right?
Does it have new address if it is 10.0 or 10.1 like float?
What is it? Yes. Okay, one second. I'll come back to your query. So X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10, right? three objects with value 10 won't be created. Only one object with value 10, its address is given to X, Y, and Z. So here X, Y, and Z, all these X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same contents. They are sharing the same contents and the addresses. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Yes, three objects with value 10, right? Yes. Only one object gets created and its address is given to X, its address is given to Y, and its address is given to Z. All these three variables. Okay. But if X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30, right? X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. How many objects in that case?
Three.
Three objects.
Three objects, right? If the contents are same, only one object. If the contents are different, multiple objects. Yes, one more query you say, let float value. So here a query was asked, right? So here instead of 20, 20.5, you will see 20.5. What type? Float type. X is 10, Y is 20.5. For 20.5, one object gets created. What type? Float type. Different address. 20.5. One is type is integer type, integer object created. One is float object created. This is the integer object address. This is the float object address. This is the content of that object 10. This is 20.5 content of it.
So a question.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. For instance, there is two programs, like two files, two Python files.
Hmm.
Both Python files having the same value X equal to 10 in both programs. Does it have the same address, object address, or different address?
So here, 1 second. Whenever you are executing this program, whenever you are defining in the same program, right? X as 10, Y as 20. So first time you execute this program, right? You will get some address for this X and Y. Second time again you execute. Do you think you will get the same address as the previous one?
No.
No, right? So whenever you execute this program code, right? First time you got some address 103070. First time when I executed. Second time doesn't mean that you will get the same address. It will be stored some. First your program is defined. Once you execute your program only, then it will be stored and it will be executed, right? You won't get the same address.
Okay.
Observe this case 3, right? So X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content and the address. They are sharing the same content and the address, right? Yes. So print X, please be in mute. Naresh, Mr. Naresh, be in mute. Okay. Print X. What is that? 10. Print X, print Y, and print Z. address of x, address of y, address of z going to be the same, right? Content also going to all the three variables x, y, z, they are sharing the same content and the address. Observe this case 4. X is 10, observe here, x is 10, x is 20, x is 10 and x is 20, right? X is 10 and x is 20. Here how many objects are going to get created?
2.
Two objects, right? Yes. This y x equal to 20, one more object with value 20, right? Yes, 104080. Now this is fine. Okay, two objects with two different. Now if I say print x, what is the x value it is going to print? What is the x value it is going to print?
20.
20. Type of x is what type? Integer.
Int.
So always why x value is 20, because always the latest value takes. X is 10, next x value modified to 20. What is the x value? 20. Always the latest value will be considered, the address, and the previous one gets removed. Whenever you define x equal to 20, the previous one gets removed, right? Whenever you say x equal to 30, next this 20 gets removed, right? Yes. Okay. So I'll just show you all these 4 cases practically now. Right? Understood all these 4 cases, right? Case 1, defining a single variable, right? Print x, if you want to print the address, ID of x, type of x. Case 2, right? Yes. 2 different variables with 2 different values, 10, 20, right? 2 different objects with 2 different addresses. Case 3, same values, then only one object, only one address. Case 4, if you got x as 10, x as 20, the latest value only it considers, the previous one gets removed, right? So whenever you want, whenever we install Python, go to the start program, say Python, right? Python 3.10, ideally, right? Ideally. So this is Python shell gets opened. File, new file, you say, right? Here I am writing case 1, right? Here you can write your code and execute the code here. Case 1, defining a variable. X equal to 10. Parent x. X equal to 10, print x, ID of x. ID of X, type of X. Save it. Python 730. I created a new folder, right? Print the content, print the address, and printing the type. Just run module here. Yes, content is 10. Yeah, address is what? This is the address. Type is what? Integer type. Print X, it's 10. Address, right? This is the address. Type is what type? Integer type. Okay, now observe this case 2, right? Observe this case 2. I'm copying the same thing. File, new file, you can say. Case 2. Defining two different variables. Defining two different variables with two different values. Two different objects gets created. Defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created. Two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. X, okay, X is 10, Y is 20. Print X, address of X, type of X. Print Y, address of Y and type of Y. Okay, now just observe, right? Can you please answer the address of X and address of Y? Is it going to be the same or different? Yes. The address of X and Y,
Different.
different, right? It should be different because two different values, two different objects, two different addresses. Say with any name dot py extension dot py, right? Yes. Now observe this case 3, right? File, new file. Defining two different variables with same values. Defining two different variables with same values. Then only one object gets created. defining two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is returned to both the variables, right? X value 10, Y value also 10, right? Yes. Print X, address of X, type of X. Print Y, address of Y and type of Y. Print X, address of X, type of X. Print Y, address of Y and type of Y. Now try to answer the address of X and address of Y. Is it going to be the same or different? Address of X and address of Y.
Same.
It will be same.
It should be same, right? Because the contents are same. Only one object, only one address, right? Yes. Save it first. Into 3. Run module. Can you see the address? Same address, right? Content is same, address are same, data types are same, right? Yes. Next, case 4.
So if I define 1 lakh of variable for this program, and if I reuse them, then while executing, it will take a lot of time, right? Because second time it will search whether the same value is available or not.
So, okay, it's related to memory, right? Memory. One more object to be created or the same object means depends upon the value. In Python, compulsorily you are supposed to assign some value to a variable. Then only the type of the variable is going to be decided, and also whether a new object to be created or the same object address to be taken. Depends upon what value you are providing. Right? Case 4. Observe this case 4, right?
Is there any limit for this number, or
Limit.
limit in the sense if I define 1000,
Hmm.
X value,
Hmm.
Y value 1000,
Yes,
the address will be same or different?
same. You 1000 and 1000. 1000. Same addresses you will get, right? Same content, same address, everything will be same. So address is same, contents are same, type also same. Okay, here in this case, case 4, defining two variables with same name, but with different values, defining two variables with same name but with different values.
Then it will take the latest value.
then actually two different objects gets created. Two different objects gets created. Mhm. Then two different objects gets created with and the previous one gets removed, right? And the previous one gets removed. X value is 10. I'm sorry, X value is 10. Next line, X value is 20. So always X takes the latest value, right? X takes the latest value, address of X, type of X. Done module, right? Yes. Print X prints 20, address of X. This is the address. Type of X is integer. Print X, it's 20, the address of X. Type will be what type? Integer type. Address of X is this type, integer type, right? Yes. Understood these four cases, right? Any queries in these four cases? The case 3, if X value is 10, Y value is 10.0. Now try to answer the address of X and Y, are they same or different?
Different.
It will be different.
Because here type of X is integer, here type of Y is what? Float. The type of X is integer, type of Y is what? Float. Okay. Two different objects here, integer object created, here float object created. Integer object will have its address, float object will have its address. Type of X integer, type of Y float, right? Understood, right? Run module, run module, right? Integer type, this is what? Float type.
Hi, sorry to interrupt here. Like one scenario we have, so where like X in a sequence, so it's increasing from 1 to thousands, and in a loop where X will be incremented by 1. So in that case, like in the memory, so will at the end will it only take a single object where X is at the top, so or it will contain all the objects for X starting from X is equal to 1.
So if you got if you're using a loop, right, multiple objects gets created. Every object, integer object is going to have its own address.
So in that case, if I need the latest value of the X, So where all the objects will be there, and it need to filter out all the objects and get the latest value, or it will only take the latest object where it will not consider the last created objects.
Here, if you want to go with multiple objects, first thing is we have got list collection data types are available. List tuples sets are list tuples and sets. If you want to have multiple values, collection data types are available. So we can use this squared bracket for a list of values, or this normal bracket for tuple of values, right? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. X equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 you are given, right?
Okay.
So here 10 will have its address, 20 will have its address, 30 will have its address, 40, 50. List is a collection of objects, 5 objects here, 5 integer objects, or 1 integer, 1 float, 1 string also fine. Each object will going to have its own address. If you observe this, how this memory allocation happens means 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Internally, one object gets created. The object is going to store 5 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This object is going to have some address. The address is given to X. This what indexing will be there. First element X of 0. This is X of 1. X of 2, X of 3, X of 4, right? Yes. X of 0 will have its X of 0 value is what? 10. One object with some address. This address is stored by X of 0. X of 1, 20. Some address. The address is taken by X of 1. X of 2, 30. X of 3, 40. X of 4, 50. In this way, 5 objects are created. For this 5 one, they will have its object address. They are going to have its content, its address, right? So if you're taking list of values, squared bracket. So every object, every value is going to have its address. Instead of 30, think it is 10. 10, 20, 10. Means X of 2 means one more object won't be created for it. The same address is assigned to X of 2. That's
Okay.
it, right? So if you've got a collection of values, we have got list tuple sets available. Later I discuss about this collection data types, how their indexing, their slicing, their functions, their methods, their addresses. It's like I was talking about list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, list modifications, nested lists. So a lot of discussion on this list of values, right?
So which will be more optimized, considering list or in a loop? If I consider like here also, I think like in the list we can also put into a loop and increment the values inside it.
Loop is not a loop is just for iterating the elements of a list. Loop is just for iterating or executing a statements for multiple times. Loop is it's not going to hold the data, but already the holding data one by one. If you want to retrieve, you go for that loop. If already some list of values are there, I want to get one by one value, you apply loop on it and get one by one value from that list.
Okay.
Hi Vijay, I just put X value is 500, Y value is 500, but the ID, I mean address is different.
Where in ideally you are executing?
No, in command prompt.
X value is 500, Y value is 500. No,
Hmm.
we'll get the same. X equal to 500, Y equal to 500. Run a run module. So you got what? Same address, right?
Okay.
968. Now again you run. You will get the same address. Any number of times you execute, it gives the same. Means both X and Y addresses remain same. Same, right?
Okay.
Fine. Okay, so fine. So so hope you understood, right? So I want the sessions to be more interactive, right? So depends upon how fast you are responding. The session speed also depends on how fast you are responding, right? Yes. And so we are completed with 4 sessions, right? So tomorrow the link is going to be changed, right? Tomorrow the link is going to be changed. Means those who got enrolled, those who got registered only will be getting the link. So everyone try to get registered, try to get enrolled, right? So I think everyone should have got emails related to the payments, right? Yes. Okay, fine. I'll stop here for today. Meet you tomorrow. Some more discussion on this, right?
Vijay, like, is that fine? If we could have a discussion, because I want to discuss with you the big data details. So is that fine too? Because I want to continue this with Django and also the big data things.
Yes,
So is
yes.
that fine to discuss with you separately, or you want to discuss with admins
Regarding the fees,
regarding the course contents and all the things like in like here, like totally like in considering Python, Django, and plus big data things.
uh, your
And I'm also expecting the like PySpark as well, that model.
okay. Okay, you can just discuss with the admin team, right, regarding this if you are choosing this many. Fine. Regarding that fees means you can discuss with them, but any technical aspects you can discuss with me.
Okay.
Are you starting the Django batch from this Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday Django new Django batch is starting
What is the time?
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 to?
So 9 to 11:30 it will be 9 to 11:30.
And how long it will take to complete the course? I mean, weekend batch?
Weekend batch 10 weekends, right?
It's a 10 weekend.
Does it require any programming skills for Django?
Initially, what are the web technologies required? I'll be giving you the knowledge on HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, right? These things. By the time your Python core completes, this web technology like what is HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, that I'll be discussing before we go with the Django part, right? Yes.
So BJ, are you covering JavaScript as well on that?
Yeah, JavaScript also, right?
Okay. Okay. So on the weekend, when will be the next weekend batch?
Next weekend batch will be after 1.5 months.
No, is there any batch to be starting in the coming weekends?
Coming weekends, right? It will be more than a month. After this, the next Django batch will be after a month time.
No, after this means so I just need to be clear here. Like after this means like when is there anything which will be going to be started or already been started shortly?
No, this Saturday first the introductory session will be taken this Sunday. This Sunday. Again that continues on next Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. So this coming Sunday will be the first class for Django.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you for this.
Fine. Okay. Fine. Okay.
Hey Vijay, did you send? I got an email for only first day session, recording session. Did you by any chance did you send the second and third?
So actually the videos will be taken care by the online team, right? They'll be forwarding the videos, right? So if have you not received the videos of yesterday's and day before yesterday's? Can anyone please confirm? So not a problem, right? If you're not registered again, you'll be receiving it. Otherwise, later once you get registered, a WhatsApp group is going to be get created. So if anything you can just directly intimate me, right? Yes. So
Okay. So are you going to send out an email, the WhatsApp group details?
no. Once you get registered, right, from the registered,
Okay.
a group is going to get created.
Okay.
Right.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.